All right, welcome to the final match for the main invitational scratch tournament doubles event, our first ever doubles tournament, February 7th, 2016 at Sparetime Recreation in Augusta, Maine. I'm James Goulding, your tournament director, and with me as a co-host today is a tournament competitor and a man who finished in 4th place today with his partner James Ward, Mr. Dave Perry. How you doing today, Dave?
Very well, sir. I'm interested to see how these lines will look over this final night.
Absolutely, we got a really good final match for you. We have top seed Tommy Young and Joe Colcord, who led the field today with a 1700 qualifying score, facing off against who was our 4th seed, Justin Rollins and Steve Babb. They got in with a 1570. They were the last qualifier to get in today. We took 4. We had 14 doubles teams. Really a lot of fun today, both on the Kegel middle road pattern. And Dave, with that pattern out there, how did you think that played? A little 4.5 to 1 ratio. Looked like there was a little bit of missed room, but you still had to be pretty accurate.
Yeah, definitely very challenging. All about making accurate shots and making spares today, for sure.
Absolutely. And then we had Roger Blackmer and TJ York were our second qualifiers with a 1610 today. And like we said, James Ward, Dave Perry qualified 3rd at 1571. They bowled the first match today in the finals against Justin and Steve and lost 246 to 193. And then Steve and Justin faced Roger Blackmer and TJ York, beat them in the semifinals 228 to 194, setting up our championship match. Kind of an interesting strategy here. You got Tommy, a little bit more of a tweener type player. Really, you got a power team against a team of guys who put a little bit of finesse and combine a little bit of power. So it's really an interesting blend here.
Yeah, I think Tommy definitely doesn't really do a whole lot to the ball, but accuracy is the key here, like we said earlier. And these guys definitely can place the ball right where they want to.
Absolutely. It looks like Tommy's using a Storm Lock. And I think Joe Colcord, his partner, is going with a Storm IQ Tour Pearl, I believe. Justin's using a sanded Crux Pearl, sanded at 1500. And Steve's using the Rotogrip Haywire, which is basically the ball both of them have used all 3 games now. So, Steve, what's that, Dave?
So that was the really interesting about this pattern. Is, being with a bunch of guys that really turn up the right side, I thought it would track out more and open up, and really until about the 3rd or 4th game, it really didn't even have any type of traffic at all on it.
Yeah, it's kind of the pattern actually did hold up pretty good. It was amazing how much less guys were moving than I thought they were going to have to move. I really thought when you got midway through game 3 or so, you'd really start seeing some big jumps, but there were some minor moves and guys maybe changing equipment, maybe a little more, a little less surface, but not a huge jump at all.
No.
So like we said, we had 28 bowlers today, 14 teams. We took the top 4 out of that. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Brunswick Bowling. We raffled off a Brunswick Soul bowling ball today, and that was won by Jimmy Clark, Brunswick staffer Jimmy Clark. So he's always happy to win another Brunswick ball. So
2 extra balls in the closet for him.
Absolutely. You can check all of Brunswick's products out at www.bowlwithbrunswick.com. I'd like to thank Nick Smith, Parker Bone, Brian Graham, everyone at Brunswick. They're great people, great company to work with and work for. I do a lot of stuff for Parker Bone myself, and you can't ask for a nicer guy. So in this match here, we have Justin can strike to give them a 13-pin lead, and fortunate on a 4-pin with a shaker coming off the wall.
I think they're finally starting to see now here, this 4th game, where they're starting to burn up that middle wire just a little bit and starting to read up a little heavy on it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, a match ago, Justin's ball was kind of going a little longer, going basically flush pocket. Now it's starting to, like you said, read a little bit. But, you know, this was a fresh pair, and now we're getting into the 3rd match on that, so that's definitely going to happen. That's 100% accurate. I'd also like to thank our sponsors, bowlandchat.net. They give us a web space for our tournament results. Our other sponsors, I'd love to thank Moore's Pro Shop, where I work. I work with Scott Moore, who owns the shop. Jimmy Clark works there. We're inside Sparetime Recreation in Lewiston, Maine. You can get a hold of us on Facebook. We have a Facebook page, Moore's Pro Shop. Or you can look up either me, Scott, or Jimmy Facebook, or get a hold of Scott. His phone number is in the directory. It's at Sparetime in Lewiston. We try to get everyone set up as well as they can for all their drilling services, bags, shoes, whatever you need, we got it in the shop. So
best pro shop in the state.
Well, thanks a lot, Dave. We appreciate it. Steve covers the spare, so they're sitting 40 in the second with a spare in the 3rd. 13-pin lead, but they can cut that to 3 pins here if Tommy can get a double and figure it out.
That was really the battle today, besides making spares, just trying to get these strikes together. You know, double or triple here really set you apart from the field.
Right, and to build on that, Dave, what you didn't want to do after getting that 2 or 3 in a row was then back it up with a big 4 or a 2-8-10 or something like that, which I saw a few times today. It definitely happened. Easy to do. We'd like to thank Bowl Pro Sales, who give us knockout cleaner for our regular M.I.S.T events. You can check them out on Facebook. You can get a hold of John Boy. That was a great shot by Tommy to cut into that lead by 3 pins now. You can check them out, bowlprosales.com. Make a good cleaner with that knockout cleaner. So, really good stuff. I'd also like to thank Joe Kenny and Maine Clockworks. They give our regular M.I.S.T singles champions clocks every month. You can check him out at Maine Clockworks on Facebook. You can get a hold of Joe Kenny. Makes great stuff, clocks, different things for your home, great gift ideas, birthdays, Christmas, anything, you name it. Get a hold of Joe Kenny at Maine Clockworks. They'll treat you right. Scenario here is they could actually take a 7-pin lead. Oh, wow. Sender comes across, hits the 10, doesn't knock it over. As you know, Dave, 12.5 degrees, 10 has to fall. That had to be like 12.49. That was really close. It's a good shot by Joe. Really kind of a bad break not getting that pin across to get it out.
It's interesting to see how much farther inside he is versus the other guys. He's still able to tap out that 10 pin.
Exactly, and he's actually, you think he's inside there, and he uses something that gets through the front part of the lane, that pearlized surface, and boy, it's saving a lot of energy for the back end. That was a pretty good hit. I'd like to thank all of our bowlers that came out for our first doubles tournament today. It's the first time we've ever run one. Wasn't quite sure of the format. We ended up using four games like our regular M.I.S.T tournament, combined the scores, and then when we got down to here, we did Baker style for the finals, which seems to be a lot of fun. For doubles tournaments, you can't really beat a Baker format. It combines not only your bowling, but the ultimate in team bowling there between the two of you. Figure you only got 5 or maybe 6 shots a game to make a difference. You better make the most of it.
Yeah, especially in that Baker format. Once you hit the roll-off, it's all about making some shots.
Yeah, they'll talk about that. You were in that first match bowling against Justin and Steve, and I know they bowled a great game, 246. That's a hard game to beat, but tell me about kind of how you found it on the lane. Were you on the left lane or the right lane? I couldn't remember.
I started on the left. So,
okay.
So
how did that lane play for you out there?
Yeah, definitely with the fresh pattern, you could tell the difference. I was a little bit more surface and moved a little farther right, try to get the ball face up. Seemed to work okay. I went 4 out of 5 on that left lane, so it wasn't too bad. James struggled a little bit on the other side.
That's right. He was on the right lane, correct? Yeah.
Yeah. But other than they shot 246, so we didn't have a lot of wiggle room either way. They bowled very well, don't take anything away from them. When they're through that kind of game, you only got 1 or 2 frames really you can't miss. So.
Yeah, and they've really been dialed in. They were after 3 games today, they were 1 pin outside the cut, and then they bowled a great 4th game to get into the cut. They bowled tremendous.
They were plus 20 something in the team, correct? Plus 22 or something like that.
They went 4-12 that last game to get in. Like I said, they went from 11:58 after 3 to get up to 15:70. That was a huge 4th game. And basically once you get in, then it's just winning matches. It's head-to-head match play, so anything can happen in that format. There's a scenario. They got a 3-pin lead, both teams on a 9 spare in the 4th. Boy, this would be a good setup for the second half of the game if you strike. All right, that shaves that lead down to just 1 single pin now. It looks like Steve, again, like you were saying, Justin's getting a little bit of early read. He left the 4-pin again on lane 16. Steve's getting the earlier read. You have 2 guys that have been beating that track area up, and they've been pretty much staying on the same lane. They've chosen to change their order this game. Steve was anchoring for this team, but because of the way that Joe and Tommy set up their lineup, they decided to keep Steve on the left lane and Justin on the right. They decided to flip it and have Justin anchor. That's going to be interesting as we get down to the 10th frame, how that's going to work.
We'll see how that strategy works out for him.
Steve has performed in both 10th frames today. Justin struck in the 9th both games, and Steve came right up and struck behind him. So they work well together. They're both teammates of mine. We both Tuesday nights together. So and I'm friends with all 4 of these guys. So I don't have a rooting interest one way or the other, but it's just a fun match to watch.
Same here, I agree. It's nice to see this quality of bowling, on a Sunday morning before the Super Bowl as well.
Absolutely.
Not a lot of places you can go in the state of Maine to find this level of bowling.
Agreed. The Tommy there just leaked that one out a little bit. We kind of saw that in warm-ups. He looked like his reaction was either kind of a highlight. He was either a little high or a little light. Had a hard time really dialing in the pocket. Looks like he's kind of still fishing for that.
And it looks like this pattern's really speed sensitive. So if you start getting a little quick and get a little right, you're going to be soft 2 8s all day. So.
And luckily he got the 10 out. I mean, 2-8-10 was a very popular combination today.
Plenty of those today, that's for sure. I shot at 3 or 4 myself.
This isn't always the easiest spare. You figure you get a little bit less volume in the center of the lane than you used to, so you don't want to, slow the ball up and have it hook over and, just knock the 2-pin out and miss the 8. You don't want to swing it too much and then knock the 8 out. So
yeah,
tough spare here.
In front of this one. I want to make sure behind it's the other way.
Ooh.
That ball finished.
Got both pins. You can't miss it if the ball hits both pins. Is what I've been told. So
3-pin difference here. We'll see how this finishes out. This is a big shot right here.
Right. You see, they got with 1 pin, and then Tommy gave those 2 pins right back. But, Joe's a very clutch bowler, and I think it was good to have Joe anchor this team. He anchored the team all day for the qualifying. He did a great job for them. Of course, Joe's won multiple M.I.S.T titles, former M.I.S.T Bowl of the Year. Can't say enough good things.
Both of ours.
Absolutely, yep. I bowled with Joe a lot.
Multiple state championship.
Yep. We'll see if he can get that 10 out here. See if he makes an adjustment for that ball just facing up a little late. That definitely was a good adjustment. That ball faced up perfect, rolled right through the pins the way you want. You want to see that ball finishing perfect through the pin deck, splitting the 5-9, 5-8-9. Great shot.
I don't see Justin come up big here and throw another one to match the pace here.
Well, that's just it. See, now, for the first time, Justin's the anchor. He's facing arguably one of the best bowlers in the state, Justin. It's not to take anything away from Tommy. Tommy's a great bowler himself, but it's definitely a whole different bag of wax when you're the anchor.
Yes, it is.
That looked good off his hand.
Still just
same thing. He's in that same kind of zone.
He's chasing it down. He's still just right behind it.
So with this, Dave, and he's close to finding the pocket. I mean, he's just a little bit high. Is that something where you would make an adjustment and like a parallel move in a little bit, or would you maybe move the feet and leave the mark where it is? What would you do on that with that kind of reaction?
For me, a 4-pin means that ball's reading up just a hair early. I usually combat it 2 ways. Usually it's like a half board move left, with a mark, aiming mark at the same arrow, or possibly even just a slight move forward, just give that ball to roll a little bit later down lane, just so that way you don't get that 2-pin kicking across there.
Yep. All right, so again, Steve went high last time too, and we'll see if he makes an adjustment. Steve's adjustments a lot of times aren't on the lane, they're with his speed. A lot of times he'll just crank that ball up another half a mile an hour and get it through.
That's the teammate thunder crank.
That's exactly what he did. I mean, that ball was on the same mark as last time, but just a hair quicker. And I bowled him Tuesday nights, and last Tuesday when he was struggling, he just started piping that thing another mile an hour quicker, and all of a sudden he was dialed in. So
it's amazing how much more that ball speed can make those pins jump around there.
Absolutely. Well, here's the opportunity. Can Tommy just get 1 strike? I think if he gets 1 strike, they're going to be a tough team to beat here because, they're down. They can take the lead here. They're down 2 pins. If he strikes here, they got an 8-pin lead. So this is really the biggest shot of the match. This is huge. If they can't double, they're going to have a hard time winning.
It's decent. Got a face.
Wow. Crumbles out a 2-8. Definitely faced up a little bit. That definitely helped, but boy,
still a little soft.
That's a good break there for that team. And now they're up with an 8-pin lead. Can Joe build on that momentum and build it to 18 here?
What's interesting on that right lane is how Tommy's shots are kind of fading, where Justin's are actually facing up a little more, leaving those 4 pins.
Well, I think a lot of it's ball roll. Tommy's got a lot more axis tilt and axis rotation than Justin has. Justin's really up the back of the ball pretty good. And I think Justin's using a little bit more surface. I mean, Tommy's lock is factory surface, but it's got a lot of lane shine on it. And Justin's was just fresh surface before the tournament today. So that definitely, 1500 is definitely, you can tell, it's biting the lane pretty good.
Yeah, today was definitely a mixture of ball surface and, playing the speed correct. Nice shot.
That was a big shot by Joe right there. Very nice
puts
shot.
him in the driver's seat there.
And here's where, if you're the anchor, you have to come through right here. You can cut that lead back to 8 pins. I mean, they're not out of this match by any stretch. I mean, if him and Steve step up here and throw their own 3-bagger, they take a 2-pin lead again. So
yes.
This is coming right down to it, and I wouldn't expect anything less. Both of these teams are both great all day.
looks like he made a slight
He moved in.
there.
He moved in. Yep.
Great shot.
Wow, great shot. Great move.
All right, now let's see if I can put another one up there, and then that'll be up a real good match here coming down to the final 2 boxes.
Absolutely. So we got an 8-pin left, and they're down 8 pins right now. They can take that 2-pin lead right back that they had. Again, see, make sure Steve stays firm through that ball, get it through the break point. I don't think he moves at all, Dave. I think he stays right where he is.
He just adds up the speed, like you said, and he just tries to flush the rack here. And hopefully a 10-pin shoots out.
Yep, I agree. That's the only pin I think you're going to have to worry about if he's in the pocket.
Looks decent. Oh, up on.
Wow, another big break. Both teams with a huge break in this match. Steve crumbling out a 6-7-10 on a high hit. Just the last time Tommy was up, crumbling out a 2-8 for a strike. So I think they're even on breaks right now.
Nothing but thunder crank and clean living there, folks.
Absolutely.
Alright, so let's see if Tommy makes a small move here.
Yeah, I almost think he almost should make maybe a little half step back on the approach or stuff.
Yeah,
something to
maybe a
just
half
get that ball.
right, just to
get the face up a little. You don't want to make a huge move and then make the big mistake left.
See, that looks decent.
That was a big shot.
Nice shot.
Big shot by Tommy. Big shot by Tommy. That was huge. And again, it looked like he moved right, David. You were saying.
A little bit, yeah.
Yep.
And that was the thing with this pattern. The farther right you started the ball, definitely, start left earlier.
Yep. Well, here's the scenario. They're up 8 pins right now. They can't be shut out. I mean, they can shut the match out. Joe steps up and throws 2 in the 10th. This match is over.
That's it. Let's see if Captain Clutch can come in clutch.
Yep.
I know he's carried through numerous teams I've been on in the 10th.
Yep.
So.
Let's see if Buck Ripcord can get one more here in the 10th. Look clean off his hand, Dave. Oh, it fell off the deck. They had the head pin coming across, but it just fell off the deck.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. It looks like maybe just a little late getting to the pocket.
Yeah, it looked like maybe just a touch late. Maybe just pushed through a little bit. I mean, it looked pretty good off his hand.
It looked like he liked it. So.
Yeah, he liked it at the line. You could tell. He stuck the shot pretty good. So, again, not a bad ball. When you're the team up with the lead. Now, if he stays clean here in the 10th, he's going to force them to throw the first strike.
Exactly.
It's a huge spare here. He spares this, no matter what, they're going to have to throw the first strike in the 10th.
Yep. Definitely a big spare to put the pressure back on the thunder crank.
I'll tell you what, I like that look that Justin had when he moved in. That ball was a nice high flush.
That was definitely a good move by him, especially in a big spot. He didn't have to solidify them any chance coming back there.
That was a good spare. Joe, one of the better spare shooters I know, so I didn't expect him to come up and flag that one. He's pretty clutch. So. All right, so we'll set the scenario here for you. They got 203 in the 9th, spare in the 10th. They can finish out with 223. And pin count here is actually pretty crucial, Dave. You think they got 116 in the 6th. If they come up and
the best they're going to put on the board is 236.
Right, whether they strike on the first ball in the 10th or in the 220s.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
but pin count's huge because they could go
7 spare, then they
could
might be down a pin or tie.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. The big pin count here. Got all 10. Wouldn't expect any less.
Yeah.
That's a good Baker game right there. You figure in the final match, a lot of bowling today, big grind on this pattern. 223. That's a great game. And here's the scenario: strike 9 wins the game. Strike 8 spare wins the game. Strike 8-1, we have a tie.
Yeah.
Strike 7 spare, we have a tie. Anything less is a loss. Anything less than that is a loss. You gotta have the strike. Worry about the pin count later.
It looks like he stayed in the same spot where he was on that last one.
Agreed. Yep, that's in. That's tight. Great shot. Clutch shot. I guess they don't care who's bowling anchor, do they?
Not at all. Not at all.
When you got the thunder and you got the crank, it doesn't matter which order it's in. Now, pin count's huge here. You don't want to get your emotions too much amped up and then throw one out the window.
Not a big forward. You want something that's flush in the pocket.
So here's the thing, Dave. Say, you know if you get basically 8 spare, you win the match. would you take your spare ball and just chuck it right at the head pin and throw it hard? Because you need 8 pins. I would say if you needed only 6 or 7, I'd probably do that. But I think in this situation, he just stays with his A game.
I absolutely think strike ball here. I wouldn't go to that spare ball unless it's 6 pins or under. Your guarantee of getting that is very low. So you
goes out a little, but there it is.
He's got plenty of room.
That's a championship medal right there.
Last 4 frames by those guys.
Championship medal shown by them guys right there. Come back.
So as long as it keeps it between the gutters here, we're good to go.
Yep, absolutely. I can finish this with the back 6 to shoot a 236 game, which is pretty impressive considering both guys looked like they had kind of lost the pocket there about halfway through the match. So
definitely a good move by Justin.
What a great finish. Great finish.
Great game.
Yep, 235. They win at 235. Justin Rollins and Steve Babb with the win, 235 to 223 over Joe Colcord and Tommy Young. What a great performance by them today, winning 3 matches, coming from that 4th seed, coming all the way up through. And just some final thoughts as we finish up here, Dave. I mean, the pattern held up really well at this place today. I mean, even in that match, you had a couple teams shooting in the mid-200s, and boy, what some great, good clutch bowling we got to see today.
It was, like I said, I can't say enough about your tournament. James are the best around. I wish I'd come to more than I do, but the pattern was great. I like the higher challenge patterns. That really, the more accuracy, I think, the better for the competition for sure. But great day bowling for sure.
All right, well, thank you very much, Dave, for sitting in the booth today. Appreciate having you. You can find the results on our Facebook page, Maine Invitational Scratch Tournament. Just check us out there. We'll add you to the group. Or you can find the results on the web at www.mist.bowlingchat.net. For Dave Perry, I'm James Goulding. Thank you very much. We'll see you next month, March 6th, in Brunswick, Maine, for our last Maine Invitational Scratch Tournament of the 2015-2016 season.